Also the former Republican governor of South Carolina, Mark Sanford. It's good to see you, Congressman and Governor. Let's set the table. You're a conservative. You've been in Republican politics for a long time, and you know Capitol Hill. What do you see in what is happening in the Senate right now, as Lauren Fox was just laying it out?
Frustration to the point that was just made, which is you get close on legislation that's been long anticipated and long talked about, and yet somebody who's not there at the playing field or in the playing field or there at the table says, "No, I don't like it." That's something that tends to irk the people that are at the table, and that's what's going on right now.
How do they get through it?
Bravery, because, again, everybody's skittish about Trump's base, which is why you see the alignment that you see within both House and Senate members disproportionately going toward Trump. So there's this juxtaposition.
And the question is, where is the bravery?
Legislation
where is the bravery, right? Because here's some truth.
Well, good luck finding it.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Because the truth is, policy decisions are made for political reasons all the time. Always, maybe. Just to be a little bit cynical. But not something like this. I mean, you have folks who say, honestly, it's like we've been screaming from the rooftops about a border crisis for a long time. We're going to get so much of what we've been fighting for on the border very soon. And now we're going to spike this to make sure the other side doesn't get credit, even though we would also be getting credit. I mean, who's being played for a fool here?
Again, I haven't seen the base language of the text. I don't know what's in it and what's not in it. I just know the overall process, which is what you see right now playing out, wherein people spend a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of weeks, a lot of months working on some piece of legislation, and then inevitably some third-party group or some outside player says, "No, I don't like it." That yields frustration. That much I know.
You paid a price, losing your congressional seat in 2018, for standing up to Donald Trump. That is what clearly people are afraid, maybe not losing their seat, but that is what folks are afraid of in the Senate. Republicans.
No,
why this isn't going to happen.
To your
Do
point,
you think the price is as high for people today?
No, I think it's dissipated. The four of us who spoke out early against Trump are all gone. So Corker and Flake in the Senate, me and Amash in the House, gone. He was at the apex of political power at that time. That's no longer the case. And you see a further weakening based on what we saw playing out in New Hampshire, where Nikki's nipping at his heels. You see that with the court situation that was just described in an earlier segment. So he's not where he was, but he's still awfully strong, and the base is there with him. And in Republican Party and Democratic Party politics, one of the rules of thumb is never go against your base, and that's why you see political figures reacting as they are.
Let's talk South Carolina politics now and presidential politics. Donald Trump has received, it's been described as like an avalanche of endorsements from electeds in South Carolina heading into the primary there. You know all of the players involved, and it's really interesting. I was just looking back at kind of the history of it, right? When you left the governor's mansion in 2011, Nikki Haley came in as the next governor. When she appointed Tim Scott to the Senate, you then won the House seat that he vacated. You know everyone involved here. First and foremost, what do you think of Tim Scott's endorsement? Yeah. It's a real happy family. What do you think of Tim Scott's endorsement of Trump, not Haley?
Again, everybody has different motivations, and I think the obvious one on the wall, I don't know this for a fact, in fairness to Tim, but the obvious one on the wall would be, wait a minute, you could end up vice president of the United States, given Trump has momentum and given the fact that he's going to need a vice president. That would be, I think, maybe the cynic's thought. The other would be, he likes, as he said when he was called upon in that awfully weird exchange there on Tuesday night, I love you more than I love Nikki. I'll let you decide which one it is.
Nikki Haley has been facing calls from Republicans to drop out. We were talking at the top of the show about this strange RNC draft resolution declaring Trump the presumptive nominee, and then it gets pulled. Let me just ask you this. Why should she? Why would she drop out? She has the money. That's the reason people end their campaigns if they run out of money. Do you think she should drop out now?
No, but two thoughts here. One is there's always a tension between money. It's easy for people who are not in the arena to say, keep going, and you'll have money to that effect, and she certainly has that, and your own political capital, which takes years to build. And so I suspect there's at some point going to be a calibration wherein, yeah, I have the money, but if I get trounced in a state like South Carolina, my home state, does it bode well for me in terms of another presidential races or other political prospects? So I think you have that tension. The other thing that's interesting that people forget is this is not a new play. This is an old play out of their playbook, the Trump camp, in that if you look at the South Carolina primary last go-round 4 years ago, even though South Carolina has historically prided itself in first in the South, they said, we're not going to do a Republican primary. We won't even allow another voice, another electoral contest against Trump in South Carolina. And that was the last presidential primary season. So this is not a new thing. It didn't work in this case, but if they can sort of slide one that direction, they'll go all day long, and they did it 4 years ago.
Given your history in standing up to Donald Trump and what you've said about him, do you think Nikki Haley would be a better president than Donald Trump?
Yeah. Again, I think Donald Trump would be a better president than Donald Trump, with all due respect. I mean, I like some of his policies. I like where he's pushed back on this open border, which has been a disaster for this country. But, you know, he has been the king of debt. He has not stood up on debt and deficit spending that I think so critical to the trajectory of our country. And he has been, you know, not a great dislocator in terms of politics, but a dislocator in terms of crazy fractions coming against each other in the body politic. And I think he's dumbed down the political debate, and I think that's a problem.
Mark Sanford, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Great interview, Kate. You heard it here. Mark Sanford, Donald Duck over Donald Trump. All right, coming up, new this morning, Israel in front of the International